ArsenalFanTV, Chris, a smile on your face. First person so far to be smiling because a lot of people are not happy with the performance tonight.
It's because I've seen you, Rob. It's the highlight of my night. No, it's on the balance of the play, it's a good result. We didn't deserve to draw probably. Over the past 2 games, I think we have to be honest with ourselves, and PSG are the better team in both games and deserve to top the group if that's how it does turn out, which looks likely to at the moment. But there's no disgrace in drawing tonight, and I take it as a small positive that in fact we are drawing these games, and the same for Man United when we're not at our best.
But what do you make of what Lee was just saying? He's making some great points there. That he said that every one of the top teams that have come here, apart from Chelsea, have left here with something. They've had their tactics.
Tottenham are not a top team. Look at last night.
But they've all left. You know, we haven't beaten them. Is that worrying you?
Our home form isn't as bad as people are making out. In all competitions, we've won 7 and drawn 3 at home. I wouldn't say that's after the Liverpool game, which was really like something we came in unprepared for. But we have proven.
But some of the top teams have come here, and we've not been able to put them away.
Chelsea, the only one I can think about after Liverpool, and we battered them. And if you,
but we haven't battered, you know, these lot tonight. Like you said, we were lucky tonight.
We haven't got a divine right to beat anyone, and PSG are probably one of the best sides in the world. I mean, we're talking about a team that spent €500 million over the last few years, and in the group games, since they came into the Champions League in 2012, they've won nearly every single group game. And let's not forget, they were the seeds of this group, and we haven't lost to them over the 2 games, so that's something to say, and they have deserved to beat us.
Do you take heart from that? Do you think to yourself, right, you know what? We're playing all right. I mean, we haven't lost in November. Everybody's always on about this big curse of November. We haven't actually lost this month.
And to be honest, tonight was a free.
Well, we've won. You
know what I mean? Come on.
Every game is important as Arsenal, but tonight was effectively a free game because it doesn't matter if we win 5-0, lose 5-0, we're going through. And this is a nice position to be in compared to last season.
Going through top of the group, which means that you could get a team like Barcelona, which means that, you know, you've got to play that second leg away from home.
I take your point that playing the second leg away from home is a slight disadvantage, but then I could equally mount a good case for saying that second place might actually work out better. It's Real Madrid and Bayern Munich are at this moment in time second, so it's much of a muchness in terms of the teams we play. We could still finish top anyway. There's no guarantee of what way the PSG will probably rest players in the final game.
Ludogorets. They've got Ludogorets at home.
They were 2-0 up against us.
No, sorry, forget that.
No,
they've got no chance against PSG.
I think we have to be honest with ourselves as well and question the Champions League, you know, in terms of, you know, what we want from it. So for me, I really want the Premier League this season, and what the 2 games against PSG have shown us, if we're being humble enough, is that we're not quite in that second tier, that we're not quite as good as we think we are, or maybe that we should be, which is slightly disappointing considering, you know, on the Deloitte rich list we're 7th richest in the world or whatever it is, so we really should be pushing that second tier. So the first tier is obviously Barca, Madrid and Bayern. The second tier in my eyes is like PSG, Juventus, Dortmund and Atletico. A second tier team nearly always gets to the final. It's never like both tier 1 clubs, and it's disappointing to me that we're not quite that good. So like, it doesn't mean we can't win it. We could, you know, we've got to the final before, but to me the Premier League really is the one I want. We haven't won it for so long, and the game on Sunday is such a much bigger game in my eyes, and I just worry slightly in terms of the Champions League is going to, you know, take up our capacity in terms of mentally and physically. And, you know, I personally would have been tempted to rest some of our players tonight because, like, Ozil, Sanchez, you know, they're being played to death at the moment, and people will argue and say, oh, they're being paid this much, and but that's irrelevant. They're human beings, and I worry about Liverpool and Chelsea because they're both much better teams than Leicester are last season, and Leicester won the league last season massively because they could just concentrate on the league and they weren't in Europe, and that's what Liverpool and Chelsea have got. And so, you know, it's a dream to win the Champions League, and I do believe it will happen in my lifetime, but I really want that Premier League this season.
Okay. It's the Black Friday sale here on ArsenalFanTV. You can get things like this t-shirt here, or even this Mesut Ozil one. All of them reduced for Black Friday throughout the weekend at AFTVstore.com.